So today we're down at the arena with Pippa. She's actually done her full work already. So wanted to bring you all of her information up to date. If Nikki just halts there, I'm just going to take you a little bit closer so you can just really see the stamp of this horse. So Pippa we measured her ourselves. She measures 15.1, the tiniest smidgen below 15.1, but as close to 15.1 as you're going to get her. She is 8 years old, 2002 on her passport, her year of birth. And I just want you to see on this video, whilst I'm talking to you, just have a good... Sorry?
2012.
Oh, what did I say? 2008? Oh, sorry guys, she's not 2002, she's 2012, yeah. Very sorry about that. It's a good job Nikki's on the ball. I just want you to see her stamp a little bit closer, just to see what a stunning quality horse this horse is. She's definitely a native rather than a traditional. Hello, darling. Just going to let you see her beautiful face. So she's most certainly the native breed, so she's got a small amount of feather and not that huge amount that a traditional would have. As you can see, masses of mane, most beautiful mane, just needs to even out, but a very thick mane. By the time show season comes, once that's evened out there, beautiful. And she originally had her bridle path cut, but we've just let that grow out, so she has a tiny bit of a smaller bit there, but just look at how much forelock she's got as well. She's giving us a smile. She's nice, she's clean legged, she's very good to pick up her feet. This mare, good girl, she actually picks up her feet before you've even asked her. There we go, front. I bet she's not going to do it now. There you go, look, before I've even asked her. Good girl. Okay, you can walk on, Nick. So just look on the camera just how stunning this horse is. And can you just imagine her out in the show ring? Really, I'm just sort of coming from this angle because she really is quality enough to be seen and to be successful in the show ring. Now, what's fab about her and many of her others, and this is what I try my hardest to do, is to gather as much information about the horses as we can. And I've bought her off a lady who only bought her last year, and I have been trying a little while to buy this horse, but it's quite difficult to make a decision to sell a horse, especially one as good as her. So sometimes it takes a little while to come to that conclusion. And I've actually spoken to the previous owners who've been very kind to make contact with myself and give me all the information I would need to know. And then then I can pass this on to you guys. So she was bought 3 years ago by her previous owner, which would have made Pippa 5 years old. She was recently backed at that time, so she was fairly newly broken. And she was bought by a family, a couple, for the husband to ride. Now, her husband, he is actually 6'1" and 14.5 to 15 stone. So that's going to give you an idea of what size rider this mare's been carrying for the past 3 years. As he describes himself, is a competent novice. Like most of the husbands had to marry into horses, and we all know we're not going to compete with the horses, so we may as well just get into them themselves. I'm sure many of you can relate to that. That is what happened here. And so Pippa, since she was 5 years old, has had a taller and heavier rider, competent novice, riding her. And honestly, this horse has come with such a good reference. I've been told absolutely everything about this horse. She's been mainly used for hacking, and she hacks alone and in company, which we know ourselves, but this is what she has been doing. She hacks alone and in company. Absolutely fantastic in open spaces. She's always, but never been ridden in a martingale, although we have one now on her. That is just because it's on the bridle. She's always been ridden, no martingale and a happy mouth. So that will just tell you everything you need to know about a horse out hacking and in open spaces, fun rides, that sort of thing. Her previous owner said she's been absolutely amazing across the open spaces, out cantering across fields, in a group, on her own, and traffic. She has always been absolutely faultless in the traffic. So I'm told that she's good in the heaviest of traffic, and to be honest, I don't really need to be told that. We saw that ourselves yesterday. We had tractors, trailers, lorries, absolutely everything you can think of past her. For the past 3 years, she's been with her previous owner. She's actually been living out with one other and with a field shelter, and she's actually coped very well with that. Here with us, she's stable 24/7, as they all are. She's coping extremely well with that. In fact, she looks more than happy with it. She's quite happy in a stable. You don't even know you've got her. She's very, very nice to deal with on the yard. Nice natured, good with mares and geldings, nice in the stable, easy to handle. You can muck out around her, extremely well mannered. Good to tack up, good to mount, stands by the mounting block. You don't have to hold her. She stands there for you to get on. As I've just said, very good to hack. Hacking is going to be her speciality because that's what she's done most of. So a horse like her is the sort that, you know, I know I say this so often and sometimes I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I have to continue to say, you know, I could have a yard full of horses. That's not a difficult thing to do. Having a yard full of good horses is an extremely difficult thing to do. So we tend to not have the numbers that perhaps others do have, but we are very, very specific on what horses we have here. So when we get them here, you see what you've got in front of the camera now, and that is Pippa, who her attitude to life and to work is just phenomenal. Honestly, if I could find them like her, I would without a doubt have a yard full of them. And you know, they would be as easy as you're going to find with horses. As I say, her manners are second to none. She's got no vices. She's good with the other horses. She doesn't stress when other horses come in and out. We've actually taken the other horses away from her today. She was the only one on the yard with one other, which was nowhere near her. She didn't even whinny. She just eats a hay net, gets on with things. We've travelled her here today, loaded on the lorry, travelled absolutely faultless. Her old owners always travelled her in a trailer, so she's good on that. And when we collected her with the transport, she was on a 3.5 ton. So she loads and travels super. You wouldn't even know she's on the lorry. So those of you that want to travel, especially if you've got to travel them on their own and you're perhaps worried, you know, for safety reasons, then she travels very, very well. You can pull her off the lorry, the trailer, tack her up, get on your own, and off you go. So those of you that might want to do fun rides or local shows, and perhaps you haven't always got the help and you need something that's straightforward, then she's definitely that. And all that being said, guys, she is only 8 years old, so this horse has got a whole life ahead of her. I mean, you can just see on the camera just how beautiful she is, and this is after coming out of a winter living out. And look at her. Some horses have just got the natural beauty. This horse has got it. She's not your bog standard looking cob. She really is a nice quality cob. Having said that, she's been more than happy in her home just hacking. So you haven't got to be somebody that's going to bring her on to do in the show ring or anything else like that. She'd be more than happy just hacking, but it would be a waste to have a horse like this and not do something with her, whether that is just hacking and enjoying her, taking her to local shows, but certainly not just leaving her stood in a field doing nothing. Her nature, as I was saying, is second to none. Her attitude is priceless. She's nice and active. She wants to do her work, but at the same time, she's quiet. She's not a sharp ride. You can see that Nick has got an easy rein on her. As you know, that we only had her in a snaffle. and she was absolutely, oh, don't shake you off. Actually she's not clipped. If Nick just halts there, I'll show you that she's fairly fine coated. Bearing in mind, guys, she's travelled here. I mean, just look at her in the camera. She's not just a bit of wow, but she's quite fine coated. She's got a little bit warm now, but she is fine coated. That is the one thing that her long-term owner has said, that he's never clipped her. That when they turn the clippers on, she didn't like it, so they've never actually bothered and never needed to. So that is the only thing I can say she hasn't had done, is to be clipped. She's good to shoe. She's shod all round. As I was saying, no vices. She's walk trot cantered in here, more than happily walk trot cantered round. Quite easy to ride, pretty push button. If you wanted to polish her up around the edges, you could do that, and she would definitely be out for the show season this year. And we've done some jumping with her today as well. She's probably not done a great deal of jumping, but I tell you what, if she takes to jumping like she does today, then this mare is going to go and do the little show jumping, cross country, probably like your working hunter type, as they do for the natives. She went straight over. Actually, she was really good, wasn't she? Really good. She doesn't rush her fences. She didn't back off from her fences. She wasn't spooky. She didn't over jump. She didn't under jump. She was just lovely. So this mare will certainly go out and do like your clear round and your local shows, especially if you want to go on your fun rides and you want to be able to jump out on your fun rides as well. So she really is one of those cobs that if you want to get on and go out and make sure whatever you're doing, you come back in one piece, you're going to do that on her. But actually, if you want to do it in style, you're going to do it on her. I don't think there's anything that this horse won't have a go at. And you know what? To find them this size is almost impossible. To find a 15-1 cob, 8 years old, that looks like her, with her nature, her attitude, is virtually impossible. And I tell you what, guys, if you can find them, please tell me where, because I am searching high and low, day in, day out, to find these. If you knew her, you'd be taking her home today. That's all I can say. And you know, somebody is going to have one of the most wonderful horses with her. Her old owners would like to keep in touch if possible, which is always a fantastic sign for the horse, and obviously helps any future owners as well. So, oh, she wanted to shake again. You might just see Nikki fall off after a shake. How many of us have done that as a child? So yeah, so this is her then, 15-1, Pippa, 8 years old, and she is purple heart range. Mid to higher purple heart range. Thank you very much.